Welcome, KP Law News, Arkansas. Story is out of Arkansas, and the governor, Miss Sanders, hates transparency. We've got a little story to cover here from THV 11 News out of Little Rock. We'll play the story first, then go over and tell you what's going on. Here we go.
Walker at the state capitol today proposed changes to the state's Freedom of Information Act. Questions of who the revisions will apply to, who will be exempt, and what does this mean for you? THV 11's Rebecca Brown brings us more on the back and forth debate.
The Freedom of Information Act has never been about left or right. It's been about right or wrong.
Since 1967, Arkansas's Freedom of Information Act has provided the public the right to access the records of any federal agency. But according to Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, that law could use an update.
To make our government smaller, we have to make it more efficient. To do so, we will also update Arkansas's Freedom of Information Act.
It's one of the main issues that Governor Sanders called a special session for, pointing to concerns when it comes to her and her family's safety.
Our current FOIA laws put me and my kids at risk, so we will update sections of the law so that the sources and methods Arkansas State Police uses to protect me and my family outside of the governor's mansion are not subject to disclosure.
Now leaving it to a battle between privacy and government transparency.
Wow.
The biggest problem is that they're carving out huge swaths of material from being made available to the public.
Robert Steinbuck, a professor of law at U of A Little Rock, says exempting the government's security intel is already a law, but denying the right of the public to question their government is not right.
We need, as the public and as the media, to have the ability to seek those records and discover that wrongdoing. And what they're doing seeks to undermine exactly that.
Governor Sanders says the goal is to update our state's FOIA law to reflect the federal government standards, which keep internal deliberations private.
Somebody suing the state of Arkansas can FOIA our attorneys to determine our legal strategy. That's not just crazy, it's a waste of taxpayer resources.
However, Steinbuck says regardless of what changes are made, they will have a ripple
something to
effect not only
hide?
for government, but Arkansans as a whole.
If you don't have the ability to see what government's doing, we will be in tyranny.
Tyrants, we will be in tyranny. So that story, and yeah, that's what's going on. The reason why all this is going on, there is a blogger called Matt Campbell. He's here in Little Rock. He goes by Blue Hog Blogger. Go look him up. But he is suing Arkansas State Police to force release of information on Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders' travels. Arkansas State Police officials say they can't be forced to publicly account for how much they've spent on to guard Republican Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So attorney Matt Campbell is taking them to court to make police prove the agency is exempt from the Arkansas Freedom of Information Act. How are you exempt? Campbell sued state police on Monday in Pulaski County Circuit Court, petitioning Judge Herb Wright to decide whether the agency is illegally withholding records. Sanders is not a party to the suit, but her spokesman, Alexa Henning, denounced the litigation, stating that it puts the governor, her husband, and children at risk. Wow. It is a new low in Arkansas politics for some of the radical left to weaponize FOIA and put the governor and her family's lives in danger. What the heck? Cindy Murphy, a representative for the state police, said in a prepared statement that the documentation Campbell wants cannot be released because the information requested would violate Arkansas State Police statutory obligation to ensure the safety and security of the governor and the first family. What? And what this Matt Campbell was trying to do on his open record request was request how much money the state police was spending for the governor to fly on the Arkansas State Police airplane, fly around the state. I think that's, what does that have to do with safety of the governor? He just wants to know how much money where they're going, and accountability to the taxpayers. According to the 18-page lawsuit, well, I missed the paragraph. In 2019, Campbell was the driving force behind a lawsuit against the Pulaski County Special School District that resulted in a landmark Court of Appeals ruling that requires government agencies to provide documents electronically when they have the ability to do so rather than force those making requests to accept more expensive paper documents. According to the 18-page lawsuit against the state police, Campbell first sought security communications and financial records from the agency for the past 2.5 months involving Sanders and her husband, along with documentation to show how much their security is costing the agency. That's something the taxpayers should know or would want to know. I would think. I want to know. When state police declined to release any materials, claiming the documentation was protected from public disclosure due to considerations for the governor's safety, Campbell turned to requested documentation showing how state police have been using their aircraft this year, including requesting passenger lists and flight manifests. Campbell stated that he got a few records involving occasions when state police hired private pilots to fly the governor. Imagine that can be pretty expensive for the taxpayers. He then expanded his request to include expenditures by state police to accompany Sanders on a June 23 trade mission to Europe, including plane tickets and hotel rooms for her state police guards. Wow, what the heck? Last week, Joan Shipley, the chief counsel for the Department of Public Safety, the parent agency of the Arkansas State Police, said none of the materials Campbell had sought could be made public due to security protections for the governor written into the law. Wow. Campbell stated he was able to negotiate the release of a 210-page document from Shipley on Friday, but names of passengers on state police flights were withheld, which he maintains was illegal. His lawsuit states he's now being forced to turn to the court to get authorities to release the information he's been seeking. Wow. So they are not giving up any kind of records about the use of the Arkansas State Police airplane by the governor or anybody in Arkansas for that matter. So trying to keep it. So now the governor is has in a special session with the state leaders to try to get this law, FOIA law, Arkansas FOIA, changed to her benefit. That's screwed up. I hope they fight against it and don't let that pass. So if you live in Arkansas, call your representative and tell them, heck no, we don't want we want transparency. Dang it. So let me know down in the comments what y'all think about this. Is it a crazy situation here in Arkansas? I thought the governor is going to do a good job. Not so much. And I'm disappointed in the governor trying to take away some of the FOIA Act that is the government transparency. All right, that's it. Appreciate everybody watching. Everybody have a good day. KP Law News Arkansas out.